What's up, guys? Wow, I just realized I have been sitting in this room without speaking in a while, so when you speak out loud for the first time, especially at this volume, I scared myself a little bit. Anyway, we're going to talk about Nerf Blaster today. Surprise! That's like 90% of my channel. The numbers are probably a little bit higher than that, but it's one that I've slept on for a little while. And by slept on, I mean I saw it when it came out, I knew I was going to like it, and I just didn't buy it until probably 3 months ago. It's the Hammershot. It's not any surprise that this is something I'm super enthusiastic about. It's a really cool blaster. It came out with the Zombiestrike series. Not really the first time. Actually, yeah, I'd say it was very early Zombiestrike. It's at least... Yeah, it's about 3, almost 4 years old now, but, you know, it's still near and dear in my heart. I bought this secondhand, so I guess this might be a secondhand scavengers. I bought it at an SCNC war a few months ago, and I'm going to keep doing that. No, but what it is it is a revolver turret style blaster that is hammer primed. Very cool to me, because I like revolvers, I like cowboy guns, I like lever actions. So of course I went to a store and I was like, and I looked at the sling fire and I looked at the Hammershot. And I looked at the amount of money that I had, and I decided, treat yourself. So I got a sling fire. And I slept on this on accident. And then somewhere in my head, I decided, I'm only going to buy this if it is less than $13. Sometimes I get these thoughts like that, and for some reason I listen to them. So I bought this secondhand for $8, and that's how I finally got it. Anyway, so it is not N-Strike compatible for the most part. There's no stock point, there's no barrel point, but there is a rail on top if you wanted to mount an optic or something like that. It's pretty cool. It's kind of got that Zombiestrike aesthetic with the false tape wrapped around this wooden grip, kind of a blocky looking thing, but it is pretty easy to holster, sans this big, what is this, crossbar here, I guess? So, you know, if you can find a holster that can get around that, you're good to go. There are a handful, I mean, since this is a very popular blaster for folks to use as a regular sidearm, as a Humans vs. Zombies blaster, or just really just around the house, it is the one that I have displayed over our fireplace, because naturally a fireplace needs a firearm, you know, whatever. It's kind of got that Cracker Barrel aesthetic where you got to put something that shoots something over the fireplace, and since I'm not comfortable putting a real rifle on top there, Nerf goes there because it's me. But yeah, so this is easily like one of my favorite blasters, and I can't believe I didn't get it for 4 years. Can you imagine that? But whatever. So it's got a capacity of 5. It'll shoot pretty much any dart you put into it. Probably not the wider heads. I mean, elite. It shoots elite. Just put elite in it, whatever. And it's got a little lanyard clip right here. So if you don't have a holster, you can just like that. I tend to put it, or when I used it briefly in the one war I bought it at, I just kept it in a dump pouch because I didn't go there expecting to get one. So I said that, but actually I spoke with a person over messages, so I guess I did plan on getting it, but I did not make a plan in my loadout to get it. But it's a very fun blaster, and the Hammer Prime is something that I believe this was the first blaster to utilize this. Now there's about 3 or 4, but this makes it where you can dual wield these blasters pretty effectively if you have 2 Hammer Prime blasters, which I used to have 2 of them because I had the double shot as well, but then I dropped it at that same exact war, and I don't have it anymore. But you can bam, bam, Rooster Cogburn this stuff. True Grit. Okay. You can Tombstone. You can Wyatt Earp this. So, yeah, needless to say, you can tell that having a revolver is naturally something I'm like, yes! So I guess let's take it to the range. It works good, but, you know, you got to see this in action, right? So, whoop, here we are. We're back at the range, and... Whoa! So something you can do, I guess I'll show it in a bit, but here, let's use this hand. And now we're out. And it's pretty easy to reload. You just slide darts into the chambers here. We're good to go. It's that easy. Whoa. So the tolerances on this one are slightly different than my double shot, so you may notice that I keep short stroking some of these. So something that I've seen some people do, I've never been quite able to get it down with this one, but I was doing it with my double shot, is you can fan the trigger. So fanning the trigger is with single action. So this is what would a single action revolver be. Single action just means that the trigger only does one action, and that is it makes the hammer fall down. Double action, whenever you hear that, means that the trigger, when you pull it back, will cock the hammer, and then when you finally break the sear, it'll drop the hammer as well. Since this is a single action revolver, you have to cock it each time before you shoot it. You may now realize that most Nerf blasters are single action. So to keep rate of fire up for single action rifles and or handguns, folks would, I say folks, but like it's in the cowboy mythos that you would hold the trigger and just like bow 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 and like pull the hammer back. You would have to have like a glove or a leather whatever to, because hammers hurt when you do that. I've tried to fan like real revolvers and it requires a glove. But if you hold the trigger and you kind of slap the hammer back, you'll be able to, as soon as do this, it will shoot. And it kind of like keeps your rate of fire up. So you can kind of like, you don't even need to hold the trigger down, but like, well, it would be best actually because pulling the hammer does also rotate the cylinder, but can see, it's not really recommended nor because it's not exactly consistent, but dang, all right. Wait. Yeah, because this one's a little bit more complex than a double shot, I can't say I recommend fanning the hammer on this at all in the least bit. The double shot I was actually able to like pow, but that's because there's no rotation mech you have to worry about. It's a smart AR system. I love the double shot a lot. I'd love to have one again, but oh well. Anyway, so there are a handful of mods out for the Hammershot. There's obviously, you know, you could put in K26 or any handful of springs if you really want the draw weight to be heavier. You can improve the plunger or anything like that. But since it's a very popular sidearm, let's go back over here. Since it's a very popular sidearm, there's no shortage of parts that are being 3D printed for it. Like there's some that actually have like a barrel for it. Now, of course, when you put a barrel on, it makes it a little harder to get to the cylinder. As a result, there are different body kits to make like a Picatinny rail on top. There's some where you can just take out this entire cylinder and they've 3D printed to where like the spacing is different. So you can either get a 6th, you know, cylinder in here or like maybe an 8-shot or anything like that. This is just a fun blaster, to be honest. I love hammer action. I think the, what is it, the Doomlands Persuader, the Double Shot, the Hammershot. I think there's another Doomlands series blaster that has the Hammer Prime. I don't know the name of that one. It's like a revolver rifle. It's cool. I don't have it. I don't really love the aesthetic of Doomlands, even though I'm a very post-apocalyptic aesthetic kind of guy, which Zombiestrike, but I don't know. There's just something about it. It's like the Judge of the Doomlands, that big, awful blaster. Yeah, no, I don't love it. But I'm your Huckleberry. No, but it's super spinnable. It's a good blaster. I highly recommend them, retail or not. The end. So if you like what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe. Here, I'm doing it again. I haven't recorded in like a week, but here I am doing it again. Please like and subscribe. There is a little bell that I've heard of that if you want to continue, if you want a notification of when I make a video, whenever that may be, you can click on it and you'll get a notification. Now that being said, I myself follow a bunch of people on YouTube. If all those notifications were on, I'd go into DT. So I don't blame you if you don't do that in your experience with YouTube. So don't worry about that too much. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat, however, that'll be in the description down below. At this point, there may be some videos or whatever to show other videos I've made in the past or my channel, so it's easier to get to all the rest of them, but this is where they'll go right now. My brother and I have started a podcast. We're on our 6th episode right now. In my opinion, it's actually pretty funny, and that's only because like my brother surprised me with some pretty funny intro bits, or a very energetic intro bit, actually, but it's pretty good. It's worth a listen at least a little bit. And we're on Google Play, we're on iTunes, and we also have our own page on our RS, or the folks that we host our RSS with, and it's called Ketchup with Crab Legs, and we're basically just talking about whatever subjects we decide to talk about that week, kind of standard podcast stuff. But if you want to go listen to it, I'll leave a link in the description down below as well. In my previous video, or one of my previous, bleh, in one of my previous videos, I did talk about maybe selling some of the paintings that I have. If anybody's interested in those, I'll leave a link to either the Etsy page that I might make, or my link to my eBay or something like that. I'll figure out something about that. If I don't figure it out by that time, I'm going to edit out this part in the video, so I'm going to start talking slowly, so it's easy to cut out later. But that's all I have for this video today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!